What is up, everybody? My name is Kyle and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Today's video is a cool one. I'm gonna be walking through some new Hoya cuttings I've gotten. And the way I got these is really great. So ahead of me starting this channel, I was watching a lot of houseplant YouTubers, interior design YouTubers, following Instagram accounts, and just kind of participating by consuming and seeing what other people were doing. And when I started this channel, I really wanted there to be some back and forth and for there to be this, kind of community aspect to it. I'm not an expert in anything I do, and I'm always looking for feedback, and I'm always interested to hear what other people's experiences are with houseplants, interior design, and travel. So I wanted this to be a bit of a two-way street, and I got the cuttings that we're gonna walk through today from somebody that I met through this community, just here online. These plants were sent to me from SD Plant Guy, and SD Plant Guy found me on Instagram. I do have an Instagram account, I'll put it right here. And we started talking just normal plant people stuff, right? Our favorite Hoyas, how we grew them, and SD Plant Guy offered to send some cuttings my way. And if you've seen my Hoya houseplant tour, you know I have like over 50 Hoya here in the house, and I don't really need any more Hoya in my collection, but I'm always interested, and I feel like other people that are in a Hoya will kind of understand that like constant pull of like, if people are offering, if they're available, if it's there, it's small now, I'll give it a try. Why not? So SD Plant Guy was kind enough to send me some new Hoya, and I didn't know what he was gonna send ahead of him sending it, but I had mentioned that I was looking for Hoya that just had interesting leaf shapes. Because I have so many Hoya, and so many of the Hoya that I've gotten recently I've bought for the blooms, and that's like where the unique part comes in. I'm not really that interested in, it's gonna sound mean, but like plain Jane leaf Hoya, right? I have enough of them, then I'm waiting to bloom where I can see that part. So I'm interested in Hoya that have weird, unique, interesting leaf shapes, and that's what SD Plant Guy sent along. So we're gonna walk through all of these. I only had one of these in my collection. Like I mentioned, SD Plant Guy did not tell me what was being sent, so I found out when I got them. Everything was packaged incredibly. I didn't want to do an unboxing video just in case, with the plants coming from South Dakota here to Illinois in the fall, you never know what's going to happen. So I didn't want to unbox them on camera, but they arrived beautifully. They were packaged incredibly. Everything came in great shape. And yeah, I'm just rambling now. So I'm going to go get the Hoya downstairs and we'll just start walking through them. All right, so I changed the angle a little bit. I think it's just going to be easier to show you guys, but let's just jump in. If you see me looking over this way, I took a bunch of notes, but rather I pulled a bunch of notes from the internet, and I'm gonna walk through some information about these Hoya that I found and where I found it. So we're gonna dive in. I wanna start with the Hoya that I already had in my collection, and SD Plant Guy actually sent along two cuttings of this, and that is the Hoya nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost. So this is the first cutting that was sent. Hopefully that was in focus. And then the second cutting has some really nice sun stressing on it. But this is the second cutting. Hopefully that's in focus. I'm really hoping that's in focus. But just to show you the one that I have, this is my, sorry, sandwich. I just ran sandwich over with the chair. Sorry, dog. This is my, trying to hide my face here. This is the current nicholsoniae in my collection. So yeah, Hoya New Guinea Ghost, also Hoya nicholsoniae. I've got a few notes here. I guess I should like hold one up as I talk about it, right? I don't know what's gonna be in focus, but I got this information from Steve's Leaves, which you probably know if you've ever purchased Hoya online. So Hoya nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost is a natural sport collected by, I'm gonna get this wrong, Nathalie Simonson in Papua New Guinea. She found this silverleaf specimen amongst hundreds of other Hoya nicholsoniae with normal green leaves. So I guess I didn't know this until I looked this up. Hoya nicholsoniae is the species, but the New Guinea Ghost is this silvery style leaf. So yeah, that was news to me. As far as care, bright indirect light, 60 to 85 degrees, 50 to 60% humidity, and water when soil is dry to the touch. I sound like a product page now, but again, in my experience, this one likes to have a little bit more water, but it might just be because the larger plant I have is in cocoa coir and dries out a little bit faster. But yeah, that is the Hoya nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost. And here are the 2 cuttings, hopefully those are in focus, that SD plant guy sent my way. All right, this next one that got sent along, I kind of have in my collection in that I have the green form. So the next cutting that was sent to me is the Hoya cummingiana, but it's the outer variegated. I hope that's in focus. I'm gonna stop saying that, but I really do. So this is the outer variegated, and over here I have my green form. I talked about this one a bit in my Hoya tour video. I don't love this one in particular. You may recognize the trellis. This is from a big box store and it was already trellised. I've heard people talk about how they enjoy this plant more when they don't trellis it and they kind of let it grow wild and free. This one is on a trellis, so I just keep wrapping it. I don't really love this one, but this outer variegated one is beautiful. And I think I'm gonna enjoy growing this one a lot more. I'm definitely not gonna be trellising this one, at least at first, because I'm interested to see what the Hoya cummingiana looks like untrellised growing in my conditions. Just a little bit of information here. This is from Vermont Hoyas. It says Hugh Cumming was the person who found this Hoya, and they found the plant on the island of Mindoro in the Philippines back in 1841. So this plant has been known for a long time. I don't know how long the outer variegated version has been around, but it's beautiful. And as far as I'm concerned, I like it so much more than the green form. Sorry, green form. But yeah, Hoya cummingiana, outer variegated, really, really beautiful. Excited to grow it in my collection. Okay, next up is one that I do not have in my collection. I don't have any version of this in my collection. And that is the Hoya diversifolia Maharani. I had heard of Hoya diversifolia before. I did not know about this Maharani variety, but it's really cool. It's got big leaves on it. I really like the yellowish variegation. I believe the yellow variegation in the center of the leaf is an indicator of the Maharani, just in the research I was doing, but there's not a ton of information about this variety. Maybe cultivar, I don't know, I believe it's a cultivar, but there's not a ton of information around this one specifically, but I really like it. It's kind of giving me almost abovada vibes. They're not as big and round, but it feels that way just in the vibes that it's giving me, I guess. It's a really unscientific way to talk about it. But yeah, it feels kind of like an abovada to me, but I know it's not. It's a diversifolia. Just some information about this one. I'm gonna hold it like this. Maybe it'll focus on it. I couldn't really find a lot of information about the Maharani, like I mentioned, but I did find information about Hoya diversifolia. And this is from Vermont Hoyas, again, a trusted, beyond trusted resource in the Hoya community. If you like Hoya, I'm sure you are familiar with Vermont Hoyas. But from Vermont Hoyas, it's written that Hoya diversifolia is an Indonesian native with a thick, weirdly shaped leaf and pink flowers. The plant, for some reason, is looked down on by some Hoya growers as a sort of mongrel of the Hoya world. I don't know what that means. I didn't want to look into it more, but it makes me like this Hoya so much more, knowing that it gets referred to as a mongrel, just like sandwich over here. So yeah, this is Hoya diversifolia, really cool leaves. I couldn't find a ton of information about this Maharani variety, but I'm super excited to grow it. And yeah, I'm super excited to have this mongrel in my collection. So unofficially, I've been kind of ramping up these Hoya by my excitement. So as we get further along here, we're gonna be seeing Hoya that I just got more and more excited as I was opening up the box from SD Plant Guy. The next one I want to talk about is the Hoya latifolia Snow Queen. This leaf is awesome. I really hope that's in focus. That better be in focus. But I was stoked to see this one when I unboxed all the Hoya. I used to have a Hoya latifolia Sarawak, but it rooted for me, but I don't think it was able to produce a node. So it eventually just kind of died off. It was just like one big leaf. If I have a picture, I'll drop it in here because it was kind of goofy. But I had one big leaf of a Sarawak for the longest time. And now I have the Hoya latifolia Snow Queen. So if you've seen my Hoya tour video, I have a few other latifolia in my collection. I have the inner variegated, which is pot of gold. And then I have the outer variegated, which a lot of times gets listed as Hoya macrophylla, but is actually a Hoya latifolia outer variegated. And then I also have the Hoya latifolia Rangsan in my collection. But my Sarawak died a while back. I don't think it was ever going to produce a vine. So I'm stoked to have this Snow Queen. I feel like I'm rambling. Just look at this leaf. Ignore me. I did find some information about this one, and I found it from Unsolicited Plant Talks. Again, another really trusted resource in the Hoya community. Some information about the Hoya latifolia Snow Queen. This, I guess, pertains to keeping the splash. So according to Unsolicited Plant Talks, to encourage and maintain the splash, grow your Hoya latifolia Snow Queen in a shaded environment. If the vine completely reverts, they recommend cutting it back to the last set of splashy leaves and adjusting the lighting conditions, either increasing or decreasing, depending on the environment, to encourage that new growth with the desired splash. So this one is starting to produce some leaves for me. They may blast just because these plants are now acclimating. They all showed up in great shape with all of the leaves intact, but as they've been acclimating in my conditions, naturally, I think I'm going to lose a couple leaves. I already have, but these may grow, they may blast, but the vine continues to grow for me, and I'm excited to see if the first couple leaves are going to be splashy. So yeah, that is my Hoya latifolia Snow Queen. One leaf now, hopefully to be many. Very, very splashy leaves in the future. All right, let's keep moving on. Okay, next up we have, I'm going to get the name wrong. I'm going to say it wrong, I can already tell. This is the Hoya yingjiangensis. Yingjiangensis. I'm sure I've said that wrong. I tried. I gave it the old college try, but this plant reminds me of the variegated Hoya wyetii or the Kentiana, which makes me really excited because I've never had a Kentiana. I've tried the variegated wyetii twice, and I just can't keep that plant alive. I have a green form downstairs that does great. It's never flowered, but it does great. The variegated version always dies for me. I don't know if the two specimens that I had just both had flat mites and it was really bad luck, but my experience with the variegated wyetii is every time I watered it, more and more of the plant died back until it was just dead. So love that plant. It's a beautiful plant, but I don't keep it in my collection because I've tried twice and it doesn't feel worth it. That's not about the wyetii though. That's about the yingjiangensis. So this plant gives those vibes to me and hopefully will kind of occupy that vibe in my collection. Really, really cool plant. It's actually put out those two leaves right there since I've received it. So it seems like it's gonna be a really hardy grower. Couldn't find a ton of information about this, but I found some information on a website called novataxa.blogspot.com. I haven't vetted it. I'm not a horticulturalist. I'm not a biologist. I don't really have the means to vet anything appropriately, but it seems like there's a lot of really good Hoya information and scientific information on there. And what I found about this one, not a lot, but it's from the Hunan province in China. And I'll put the flower on the screen. This one has one of those really cool, they're called campanulate corollas. At least that's what it says here, a large campanulate corolla. Instead of growing a bunch of flowers in an umbel of multiple flowers, this plant appears to just put out one big umbrella shaped flower. So I'll put that on the screen. It'll be sourced from Novataxa, but I don't think I have any Hoya in my collection that have that style flower. So if this thing is growing this heartily already, I'm hoping that means it's gonna flower fast. And if it does, I will be sure to show you. Didn't really find a lot of other information about this plant. There is more information on Novataxa, and I'll link some of the stuff down in the description in case you want to look into it yourself. But yeah, this is my Hoya yingjiangensis. It's got Variegated, Kentiana vibes, hardy grower already. Yeah, and really excited to see what it does. We are in the home stretch now. I've got 2 more Hoya to show you from SD Plant Guy, and this next one is neat. This is the Hoya multiflora Wonderphil, and I don't actually have a multiflora in my collection. I've only come across it once at a nursery, and I'm going to get their name wrong because I never know how to say it, Gisanthemy in Chicago. Pretty early on in like me getting into Hoya, I went in there and they had a handful of them in hanging baskets, and I just assumed that it was a common Hoya and that I could pick it up whenever, and I've never really seen it again in person. And I don't really shop for plants online. I guess I've never really said that on this channel. These were sent to me, but I don't really shop for plants online. I like the hunt of finding them in person. I like tracking them down. I like Facebook Marketplace, but never saw another multiflora in person again. And SD Plant Guy sent me this Hoya multiflora Wonderphil, which is just a beautiful variety of Hoya multiflora. The information that I found on this one is from hoyacultivars.org. Before I jump into that too, if you don't know what the Hoya multiflora flowers look like, they're really cool and you should go check. I'll put it on screen with the source, but it gets called the shooting star Hoya just because of the shape of their flowers. They're really unique. They're super cool. It's why a lot of people grow this plant, I think, because as far as Hoya are concerned, it doesn't have a lot of like the Hoya characteristics that I think people go for. It's a little leafier, but different video, different day. But yeah, Hoya multiflora Wonderphil. The information that I found on hoyacultivars.org is that Philip Bartz developed this cultivar, and both Philip and Maria Cecilia Delvo Bartz are the title holders. So the Wonderphil is a naturally variegated Hoya multiflora. It was found in a Hoya multiflora seed pod. It says 3 seedlings out of about 200 seeds had the same unique traits. They were multiplied using vegetative propagations, and they took materials for tissue culturing, and those tissue cultured ones all have stable and consistent variegation. So it's silver with some green mottling, ranging to full silver over a broad-leafed phenotype of multiflora with yellow corolla lobes and a white corona. I felt like I kind of zoned out there at the end. Hopefully that made sense. But that is the Hoya multiflora Wonderphil. It is a naturally found variegated variety of the multiflora. I'm very excited to grow this in my collection. It's putting out new leaves. It seemed to have not skipped a beat in transit, and I'm hoping that continues to be the case. So yeah, Hoya multiflora Wonderphil. Very cool. All right, so now I'm going to show you the last Hoya that SD Plant Guy sent, and this one is my personal favorite. I know there's a lot of different tastes in the Hoya collector community. This one is just scratching an itch for me, and I really, really like it. So without further ado, this is my Hoya sungwookii. This is formerly known as Hon Thom, and this is just a really cool Hoya. I don't know why I like it so much. I do. I like the really dark green leaves. I love the like really even like mottled splashing that's just like really even across all of these leaves. The leaves are thick. They kind of give like sigillatus vibes, but not. It reminds me of like a few different Hoya kind of rolled into one, but I love the leaves. I think they're super cute. I love the shape. I like the thickness. I like the splashing. I like the deep green. I just can't get enough of this Hoya. It has lost a couple leaves because it's acclimating, but I am not worried. It feels like this one is going to come back with a vengeance, and I see a new leaf right here. So I'm not worried. I think some of it was just acclimation, but I love this Hoya. I don't know, it just does it for me. I found some information. This is also from that novataxa.blogspot. It seems like this plant was first published in 2024. So from everything I could find, and please, if you know, correct me, that's open dialogue here, right? Two-way street. Everything I can find, it seemed like this plant was published in 2024. So it seems like it's a relatively new species known to the plant community. What I found here was it was discovered in southern Vietnam near, I'm going to get this wrong, Nha Trang town in the Quang Hoa province. I'm butchering that. I'm trying, please. I hope you're not offended. It's described, so yeah, it says it was found in southern Vietnam in that town that I just said. It belongs to the type section of the genus and is distinguished from the morphologically closest Hoya oblongicutifolia. Also, it says Hoya graveolens. So I think that's just a really, really scientific way of saying that this Hoya is physically closest to the Hoya oblongicutifolia, which it seems like is also Hoya graveolens. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I find any other information as I'm putting this together, I'll correct it on stage. But I feel like I've butchered enough names talking about this plant, considering how much I enjoy it. But yes, this is Hoya sungwookii, formerly Hon Thom, from southern Vietnam. It is my favorite of these cuttings that SD Plant Guy sent along, and I really cannot wait to see this one grow. The flowers, let's see, does it say in here? Smaller flowers, light green, small green to dark green corolla, short corona segments. So yeah, if there's pictures of the flower, I'll be sure to drop it in. But yeah, this is the Hoya sungwookii. Love this one. All right, so that's going to be it. That is all of the cuttings that were sent to me by SD Plant Guy. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around. Huge, also special side thank you to SD Plant Guy for sending these cuttings along. I mentioned they were packaged beautifully. They shipped wonderfully. I'm in love with all of them. Seriously, thank you for sending them along. Thank you for watching this video. Please, if I got anything wrong or if you have any other information about any of these, drop it in the comments. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you want to see more of anything, let me know in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe. My name is Kyle. This is my channel, and I hope to catch you in the next one.